This is a quick video guide for how to create and format a table in Microsoft Word when you're doing your research report and you're asked to create a table. But before going into Microsoft Word to create the table, I would draw using a pen and paper what you want your table to look like. So considering the types of variables that you have, we've got 4 down the side here that we want to include in a table, and considering the type of data that you have, we have 4 descriptive statistics across here. It allows you to then draw that using pen and paper to decide how many columns and rows you want. So we're going to want 5 columns and rows for our table. So now we're in Microsoft Word, we want to insert the table. So you go up to the top here and go to the Insert tab, click on that, go to Table, click again, then go to Insert Table. And here in the table size area, you can type in how many columns you want and how many rows you want, or you can click up and down here how many you want. So we want 5 columns, 5 rows, and then you press OK. So now you have the framework for your table, but now we have to enter the data that we want and format the table. So I'm going to now enter the variable names down the left hand column that I want to display data for. Insert them down here, and I'm going to give the column a title as well, and I'm going to call that variables. Then you can put in the data headings that you want, whatever type you're going to be using, and remember that your table might not look like this, it might not be formatted this same way or laid out this same way. So just ensure that you're formatting your table to suit your data. So we want to center the column headings. So I'm going to highlight them, and then under the Home tab, go to Paragraph and click on the center button there. So now that those headings are centered the way we want to. Now to format the table using double spacing, highlight all the cells in the table, then under the Home tab again, go to Paragraph, and you want to click on the line and paragraph spacing button. Click on that and go down to double spacing and click on that again. Now that the table is double spaced, we want to remove excess borders that we wouldn't want for our table to be formatted according to the APA standards. So there's 2 ways of doing this that I'll show you. So up the top, let's go to Table Tools and go Design, and then go to Draw Table and click on that. And that turns your cursor into a pen, and when you click on lines with your cursor now, it will remove the borders. So that's one way of removing borders that you don't want in your table. Another way, just make sure you click off on Draw Table. Another way is to highlight the areas in your table that you're interested in removing the borders from. So I want to remove these internal borders. Then go and click on Borders up here. And whatever you want to get rid of, whatever type of borders you want to remove, you click on that. So I'm going to remove the inside borders. And let's say I want to remove this left-hand border down the side here. So I'll highlight all the cells, go to Borders, and remove the left border. And I'm going to remove these remaining inside borders. Here we go. So you would have to be careful not to just highlight all the table and go remove inside borders, because you'd remove this border here that you want. So just be careful with that. So then you would go and you would insert your data, ensuring that it's centered. So in Home, Paragraph Centering, so ensuring that the data is centered. And now I'm going to go to a complete table. So I've just inserted all the data here, and I've included the table number and the heading for the table, which is italicized. But let's say you had finished your table but then decided that you wanted to include an extra column for confidence intervals. So to do that, you go back up to Table Tools and go up to Layout. And then go here to Rows and Columns. And here you can see how it's got insert above, below, left, right, Well, we want to insert a column to the right, so we'll click on that. And now you could type in confidence intervals and insert your data for the confidence intervals. Also, another formatting tip is if you have a column or a row and you need to change the spacing of it, if you put your mouse cursor over where the border would be for that particular column, you can drag the columns and move them around to space them more appropriately. There's also other formatting options up here, like split cells, auto fit, that you might want to play around with if you're trying to create a table that's a little bit more detailed. So we've been through how to create a table and how to format a table, and you've seen the final version of the table. So hopefully these little pointers will help you out when creating your tables for your assessments.